Hello everybody, Mr. O here, and I am going to do a painting demonstration, but this is kind of like a sequel to the first painting demonstration that I never posted on the Mr. O's Art School. So for those people, I apologize, and I promise I'm going to redo those videos, so I will post them so you know what you missed. What I'm going to do is introduce my students are going to start a second painting, and in the first painting I had just showed them basic brush strokes, how to clean up, how to get paint. The most important things about painting is not throwing it down the garbage can or washing it down the sink. And now I'm going to show some different tools and different techniques. One of the first tools I'm going to show is a palette knife, and I have two different kinds, and there's many different kinds. Actually, this flat is usually my favorite. It's my go-to. I use it for mixing, and I'm going to show just basic mixing instead of using the brush, and also how to do a little painting with your palette knife. I'm going to show dotters. You guys might be familiar with these for fingernails, but long before that, they were used for painting. You might even be familiar if you're a sculptor. And you can see that they've used these dotters. The fan brush will be one of the new brushes that I will show, and some of the techniques, brush strokes with that. And these are for dry brushing. So there's another technique. I don't know if I'll keep this one video. If it starts running too long, I will divide it up. So let me explain. I do got my palette, and unlike my students, I am using a tube paint. You're probably seeing my black canvas. I did not buy this, I painted it black, but if you look at it, there's a lot of texture to the brush stroke. In that first video, I taught about being very directional, because if you're not, you can kind of see that I have a mark going across. And when you do the bottom, if you don't go back over, you'll get a ridge. Those are two things that I did so everyone can see it, because you can see that I don't have it on the other three sides. The reason my students don't paint in tubes is just due to the expense. So some of their frustrations when they're trying to blend and mix comes from the lack of texture of their paint. I also taught them to do half a divot, but if you look at my tubes, I have much less than a half of a divot because it goes a lot further out of the tube, and it's important not to fill up with the tube. And I do have tube paints in my classroom. Don't tell my students that. They might get this idea that they want to use them or something like that. So the first tool I'm going to use is going to be the palette knife. And I just want to show you, very basic. I'm going to get some of the yellow here. I'm going to move it, and I'm going to spread it out a little bit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip my palette knife in the water to make the paint go easy. The problem I have with some of the students, what they do is they think that they're supposed to add water to the liquid paint, and it just makes it more watery. The tube paint, you're just trying to make it more pliable, so it's easier. So as you can see, I got more of a true green. It's not completely ready yet, and I'm going to go back. I'm going to come back to this palette knife. No, I'm not going to waste that paint. As you can see, I can mix. You have some scraping sound that just goes with it. But I'm going to actually, let's just say I had stuff painted, and I want to do some stars. I'm going to just get the white paint, and I can start making dots. Hence why it's called a dotter. Now let's just say you did a bush and you have tiny little flowers. You can use the dotters. Now, could you use the back of the paintbrush? Some of you have been taught that, and yes, you could use the back of the paintbrush. Just remember to clean it. And as you can see, it goes fast, and it's not a big deal. Now, the big thing is if you want to use the large dotters, and this is where I see the mistake people make. So I'm going to get my large dotter in there. You see it looks like I have a lot of paint, but I really don't. And I'm gonna just go up to the corner here. When you have the large daughter, roll the daughter around. I got a little loose there, but that creates that large dot. If you just press it, let's see if it does it. I should have done that first. Just press it, it's gonna be much smaller, as you can kind of see. So when you use the large daughters, roll it around. That's the technique for that. And you know, I'm just gonna stop the video here. I'm gonna come back in a moment for me, but maybe some time for you, and we'll just make it a part 2. I'm gonna show the dry brushes.